Hello, hello.
What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? Just doing my rechecks real quick. Make sure everything is good.
Mm, 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 mm. Can you guys hear us? If you can hear us, put a thumbs up or yes, I can hear you in the chat. That way we know. Make sure. Thumb.
No, got them in there.
Oh, perfect. Great. He says our audio and video look great.
Awesome. Everything looks good.
I like it. All right, let's kick this off. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. We made it, guys. Another year. One more year doing this thing called YouTube. We'll see what happens. But hey, it's RV Streets.
Hey.
Welcome. Okay, so I hope you guys had a great new year. If you don't mind dropping where you're watching from, we'd love to know who is watching from where. Hello, Carolyn Strawn. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, comment down below where you guys are checking in from. Aaron, any New Year's things that you want to tell the people before I outline what we're going to talk about today?
I don't know. I think we should save it for the end.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right. We will save Aaron's well wishes for the end.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Plainsville.
It's cold up there.
It is cold.
Are y'all doing all right in Milwaukee with this polar Arctic freeze? Some of those temperatures I saw on the weather, I was not okay with.
Right.
All right. So just a quick overview of what we're going to touch on today. We are going to reflect on that tent camping trip. Did you guys see that? So we've got some things to talk about from that. We are also going to go over our goals for this new year. We are going to reflect on what we did last year, right? Because we did quite a bit of traveling, some of it that we still owe you guys, but we were able to get a lot of things out last year, which was nice. We'll give you a kind of future layout. So I know I touched on it, I think in our last live in December, but we finalized some things, at least for the first half of the year. So we'll let you guys know about that. And we're going to give you a sneak peek. So we are all about listening to our viewers, and we had somebody who had suggested something. And so we're going to give you a sneak peek on what we're going to do with that information. And then, of course, we always have question and answer at the end. So did I touch on everything?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Dre, what's going on? Hey, Chris. We didn't get any snow, so we just missed everything. We got a little bit of rain at some point. But we didn't get any snow.
Yeah, I heard it sleeted last week, but there's apparently snow in the forecast next week, and I think all of Georgia will shut down if snow hits the ground. So,
hey, Simone, what's going on?
What happens? All right, Aaron, I'm going to let you kick it off. Why don't you tell the people about our first tent camping adventure since it was your idea?
Yeah, I thought it was great. We had a good time. We definitely overpacked. When I mean overpacked, we overpacked. You seen when Camille opened the trunk, everything was in there. We probably only needed about half of it, but we just really needed the cold gear stuff. We had a fire pit set up. We had all that set up, ready to go. For one, the platform wasn't large enough for us to put it on, just from how our tent was set up. And then two, by the time we got everything set up, it was pitch black dark. So it doesn't look like it in the camera, in the video, but it was dark. And I was like, well, let's just get in here and turn on these lights and we'll be okay. But aside from that, it went well. I had a great time until she, left me hanging and started reading her Kindle book and then left me to fend for myself. I was trying to have it be a nice digital detox weekend, or at least night. She was on her Kindle, which is electronic.
It's a book. You were on Instagram, which is not digital.
Well, yeah, because she didn't want to play cards with me. So therefore, I had to sit there and entertain myself. And that was the only thing there.
You could have read a book.
I did read a book. I read about 15, 20 pages. And then it wasn't a book like a fiction book or like that. It was one of them survival books. So it's you can only read that so much, but it's one of them things that you just skim through and try to find cool things about. So it's nothing really that for me to sit there and keep reading. So that's why I did that.
I think that sounds like a personal problem. My favorite part of the tent camping experience was that I stayed warm. We actually slept pretty comfortable. I think that's what I was worried about the most because, once you pass like your 20s, the idea of sleeping on the ground is just not appeasing anymore. We pay good money for the beds that we sleep in. And so to sleep on a wood platform was not exactly my idea of a great time. However, I will give kudos to Aaron. He did a great job of making sure that we had great padding and insulation under our padding. And so it actually slept like maybe like a firm bed, but it was definitely not the ground. So I was appreciative of that.
Yeah, definitely. So I trust me, I knew if I didn't do it right, she was going to tell me no and shut it down. So I had to sit there and think of it. So the sleeping bed the sleeping bag, I made sure it was a 2-person sleeping bag. So like that way we could sit there and get warm off our body heat, but I also made sure it was rated for like 0. Mm-hmm. So just in case it got that cold, like I seen the weather, it said it's going to be like close to like 20 degrees at the time when I purchased it. And I did that. I already bought us some sleeping pads for us to sleep on. Mm-hmm. We initially had some cots to where like we'll be off the ground a little bit more, but you already seen that we overpacked. So I said something's got to go. Absolutely. So I figured the fact that we're on the sleeping pads will be fine, and we're in the tent, and we had like a little insulated layer under the beds and stuff like that. So I wanted to make sure at the very least she's going to be comfortable and warm, because if that was happening, she was going to nix all ideas that I had. So I was like, well, I had to make sure it was good. So I think I did a pretty good job.
I think you did. Now, what we did not do a great job at was setting that tent up without any mishaps. Now, I prefaced this by saying we did read the instructions. The instructions were in the bag. We followed the instructions to a T. I don't know what happened with that pole that was supposed to go over the middle, but it said not today, and it cracked. And I know all of y'all heard that. That was real crack.
It was like, wow. I was like, oh. And then when it cracked, I'm like, oh gosh, like, did we just do all this for nothing? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, nope, I got a bunch of random stuff in the back of my trunk. So I grabbed some rope and some tape, and we just figured out how we're going to at least get it to the point we could put the tent up and then keep going. But aside from that, it was a little sketchy at first. And then we was like, no, let's just sit here and get the rest of the framework up and then see what happens, because if not, we'd have been sleeping in the truck.
Absolutely. I mean, once we got it all together, it worked out. But I will give kudos to the company that we bought it from, because we were able to take it back, explain to them, hey, this was our first time using it, and this is what happened. And we actually got a new tent. Yep. So the next time we go out, we will definitely make sure we are more careful with that part. But we do not have a broken tent, so that's exciting. Let's see. Other funny things about that setup. So yes, Aaron's right. We totally overpacked. You guys probably thought we were homeless looking at the back of that truck. I mean,
we had enough stuff for about a week.
We probably did. With the exception of food. We didn't have enough food for a week, but everything else.
2 days worth of food, but like as far as water and stuff, like we were ready for the outdoors, just in case something happened. Like we was fine.
But we're going to come back to that behavior in our sneak peek later. So just remember that little tidbit about what the back of our truck looked like. Anything else that you would like to share about the setup of the tent?
So it was a 6-person tent that we got from REI. I don't know if you heard of REI, but it's like an outdoor store. It's like way more outdoorsy than like your traditional things like Columbia or
Dick's,
North
Academy. Yeah.
So this is like all outdoor things. So like if you like to bike, you like to hike, you like to fish, like all types of things. They make sure you have your gear for everything, whether it's cold weather, hot weather, you just need some rain gear, which we went to REI to grab some raincoats, because when we got there, the weather changed, and next thing you know, they're saying we're in a tornado watch. That's right. Not warning, but watch. And I'm like, this is
warning.
No, tornado warning.
Yes.
So yes, it was a tornado warning. So we had to sit there and watch the news and see if we was actually going to be able to make it. But it just so happens it passed just in time enough for us to sit there and go on this trip.
That's all right. I didn't want to fly away like Dorothy. I didn't want to see the wizard or any of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if that would have happened, I would not be doing this again either. So.
Oh, good. Well, we didn't blow away, so I guess that means we can do it again. So, of course, the big thing and the difference about sleeping in a tent versus an RV, right? Both of them are outdoors, but one is like more of a cabin, a very nice, like homey cabin,
Mhm.
and the other one is sleeping outdoors. So, what did it feel like to spend the night in the elements?
It actually wasn't that bad. So like the obviously the most thing you fear is like safety and like stuff breaking while you're sleeping or you just hearing random sounds when you're out there. So as like if you're in a house and you hear like the wind blowing and some trees rustling, you're pretty safe. Like nothing's just going to busting through your house. But you're in a tent and the tent's moving because the wind's blowing. Then you hear you're a little bit more intimate with nature, so it kind of gets you nervous a little bit. And then once your senses kind of then you're like, oh, okay, it's just normal. You hear the wind blowing. It's like, all right, it's not so bad. So that was the initial thought when we first got in there. I know in the video, Camille got scared because the wind had blew up, and she's like, "What's that?" And I had to look like it got me nervous for a second, and it was funny. It was a laugh, but aside from that, it was pretty cool.
It did. I think all the like physical activity required to put the tent up and haul the stuff in. I mean, we had been getting stuff and packing all day. So by the time we got to the nighttime and the temperature chilled down, I was in hibernate mode. So I didn't notice as much once I fell asleep. I think maybe around probably somewhere between 3 and 5, I woke up because there were a few things dropping on the top of the tent as the wind was blowing. But I just thought of it as like a sound machine and just kind of tuned everything out and hoped for the best. So that's what it was like sleeping outdoors. Then we got to the morning, and I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to get out of that warm sleeping bag to get things started. Like I could have
She
laid
was
there all
done.
day.
She was literally in there, just snuggled up, relaxed. And I was like, well, she can't say she don't like camping now because she is feeling good. So I'm the one that got up and got everything situated. For me, if I would have wore my hat, it would have been a better night. So I like took my head and just put the blanket over it. But I don't know why I just didn't wear my hat because like she wore her hat. I don't know. Like I just fell asleep and then didn't feel like putting my hat on. So
Glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I was. But if I'd have put my hat on, the sleep was actually like 100%. It was good. I have no complaints about how.
Yeah. So since you got out of the tent before I did, how was the morning? Like setting things up and making breakfast because I didn't partake in any of that.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. It was nice and quiet. You heard the birds chirping. Like we was on the lake, so like all the geese and ducks were sitting there making noise, and then you had little squirrels running around and stuff like that. But aside from that, it was cool. Getting everything together, which probably will come with more experience. Like I necessarily didn't know what was going on, trying to figure it out. But that was the whole process of sitting there trying to set up this little electric stove that we bought, and just to make the food. And I wish I would have had like a measuring cup because I tried to eyeball, a cup of water, or 2 cups, or a cup and a half, and my chicken pesto that I had in my bag was soupy. It was a soup pesto. And I mean, I guess it actually tasted really good. It was just soupy. So like when you think of like a pasta, like you don't think that it was going to be like that. So like from the consistency standpoint, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And I put a little bit too much water in her things too. So hers wasn't as much. So I thought you said it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, it didn't because mine was more of like a mix between granola and oatmeal. So I think unless you like drowned it, it was gonna be fine either way. Yeah. Okay. Any other reviews that you have of the tent that we were in? So we kind of did like a quick overview.
Yeah.
I definitely think it was a great tent for 2 adults, maybe 3. Depending on how much space you want. Now, if you guys are just like putting up a tent for everybody to crawl in and sleep, and like nobody's gonna move or need to get up or go pee or anything like that, then sure, you could probably fit 4, 5, 6 tiny people. But if you're gonna be in there for a few days and you want to have kind of some separation of where your sleeping pad is, being able to get around your sleeping pad, maybe have a section for like a little camp, not a big camp chair, but like a camp, the little tiny ones. you definitely want less than that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd probably say about four people is a good number for if you're trying to camp and you just have a group of four
Yeah.
to do something like that. Now they do have like in the area, it's like an attachment that they call like I guess like a tent garage where it's like an addition to it, so that way you don't necessarily have to put all your things right there. You can just have it on the outside, and you clear up a little bit more space. So that was pretty good feature that I seen. Like, we didn't get that, but that was something I seen when we were there.
And that probably would have made a big difference because then it's like a 2-room tent. But I definitely would recommend it. I think it was very beginner friendly. The thing that I loved about it is that the instructions are sewn into the bag. So unlike other, gadgets or electronics that you buy when you take that, instruction booklet out and toss it away, or in the digital age where you have to scan a QR code and like pull it up online and then you lose the QR code, it was really nice to have it just sewn into the tag.
Yep.
And so when you pull everything out, you just flip it out and then start reading the instructions. They had little separate bags for your tent poles, your stakes and ties, and then the tent itself kind of fit in on top of all of that. So we were able to unpack it and pack it back in the bag, almost exactly how it came. So I think that was a 2 thumbs up for that.
Yeah, some of them directions aren't quite as intuitive as you would think. Like, so you're sitting there trying to figure it out, especially when it's your first time. You can get confused. So I know she was confused. I asked her, I was like, hey, did you get what you just read? And I was trying to wrap my head around it, and it didn't. I mean, it went according to plan, but it was kind of like we have to figure it out as we're going along. So
yeah,
but I think we're good now. If we try to put it up again, like we know kind of the gist of putting it up.
I think so. I think I got spoiled by the like IKEA directions where they just show you pictures.
Yeah, right. These are just like regular
this was just words. Oh man. All right. Well, moving on from the tent, let's talk about reflecting on last year.
Yeah. Hey, Adrian. See you just signed in.
That's right. Safety first. Please do not watch us and drive. Thank you, Adrian.
Daryl Peterson. Hey, how are you doing from Georgia?
Yay!
Yep, and the places we go. Hey, how are you?
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, Aaron, what was your favorite trip from last year? You have quite a bit to choose from.
Gosh, that's tough.
If you don't have one, I can go.
Yeah, you can go. I'll let you go first.
Okay. I think my favorite one was, there were a lot of good ones, but I really think I enjoyed flying to Panama. So being able to get out of the country, explore new metropolitan cities. So I feel like we get very spoiled in the United States, and we kind of think that our cities and our skylines are like the only modern areas outside of like Japan or England or China, India, right? Some of those places are really built up. Dubai, way more than we are in the States. But I feel like people are sleeping on some of those cities in like Mexico or Central America, which is where Panama is, or even South America. So I will say that being in Panama City and seeing just how much it has grown, like you could tell from the architecture what was old, and then all the new things that came up. I mean, it really felt like we were in San Diego or, New York or something like that. It was amazing. Like 10 out of 10, recommend everybody should go to Panama City, Panama.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of things to do in Panama City too. So like we were there because we was going on a cruise like a couple of days later. So we were in Panama for essentially a week, within the cruise line too, just going to different islands and such. But we got there, we flew there a day before our cruise so we could sit there and have a day to sit there and explore Panama City. And it was great. Like, it just reminds you of a normal American city, aside from the fact that most of the people speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So that was a fun thing because we've been trying to learn Spanish for the longest, and it was good practice to sit there and go there, and then going to a restaurant. We actually had to use those skills that we acquired. So it was very interesting, and some of the things that we didn't get, they said it to us in Spanish, or they said it to us in English. And then we said it in Spanish, so it was good communication back and forth. And I said we did pretty good. Yeah. I'm too hard on myself. To me, I'm like, if it ain't perfect, then I did bad. So to me, I thought it was bad, but I think they probably really appreciated that we came to their country and tried to speak their language. So they're very good sports about it.
All right, you got one?
Oh, well, yeah, Panama was good. I would probably say Seattle. Seattle was fun.
Yeah.
Like we were there for a week. We had done a bunch of stuff. I feel like we didn't do everything. Like
We barely
yeah,
scratched the
yeah, we didn't get a chance to go to like Olympia. What is Olympia?
Olympic National Park.
Yeah, we didn't go to Mount Rainier.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get them to do the boat tours where you go like the Puget Sound and where you can see like the orcas and stuff like that. We didn't get a chance to do that.
We didn't ride the ferry.
Nope, we didn't do that. Like there's a bunch of stuff that we didn't do that we wanted to, and we felt like we did so much just trying to squeeze stuff in and a week. We didn't even touch the surface. Like I'm pretty sure we were downtown and we were by Pike's, like a block or two away from Pike's Place Market, and there was a bunch of stuff there that we didn't even get a chance to go see because we were just doing a bunch of stuff. So it was fun. Like I really enjoyed it. It was very relaxing there too. The vibe was really chill.
Yeah.
So like really enjoyed that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Carolyn, for the reminder. Yes, guys, please hit the thumbs up to let YouTube know that you guys like it when we go live. And we are watching the chat. So if anybody has any questions, you want to interrupt us, you had a favorite thing that we did this year, just comment down below.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, let's ask that question. What was your favorite video? Like if you watched any of the previous ones, which ones did you enjoy? Yeah. And while we're sitting there waiting for a response, we can sit there and talk more about.
Let's see. Any big challenge? Did we face any? Ooh, we had a few canceled trips this year, and it was a challenge mainly because we couldn't have predicted it.
Yeah.
So, our child had gotten sick, and so we had to make a very grown-up decision of, do we continue to go on this trip, even though he was sick, or do we take a lick and cancel? I know people talk about like travel insurance. Would that have made a difference? It depends. I know a lot of times the travel insurance claims are for the travelers themselves and not always like immediate family and things like that. But we kind of took it as a lesson learned of, it's more about the experience. Like, yes, does it hurt to lose money? Absolutely. It does not feel good, whether it's $1 or, more than that. It doesn't feel good. However, it does make you focus on what's important. And at that time, being there for him as his mom and dad and letting him know, like, but we love you. We know you don't feel good. We're going to be here, rather than saying like, ooh, sorry, we got to go catch this boat. Or we got to go fly to Texas.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was really important. That was probably the biggest challenge. I think for the other trips, we didn't, knock on wood, we didn't have any like airplane issues.
Yeah.
All of our hotels were exactly like we expected them to be. We didn't have issues there.
Rental cars worked fine.
Maybe the only other thing we ran into was in Ohio, which it wasn't just us. So when we went to the Bandit Bash in Ohio, and this was nothing that they could predict, but it was summertime and the park was like packed. So everybody was running their AC, and we actually tripped the circuit.
Yeah, so it was out for like what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
But we didn't know when it was going to be back, and it kind of happened right when we were about to go to Walmart anyway. So it was like, well, we'll just hang around at Walmart till someone says it pops back up. So like I said, but just sitting there, just knowing that we would be sitting there outside of this heat was going to be crazy, because we would have had to sit outside.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't go in the trailer because that would have been like a sauna. So,
so that was definitely a lesson learned about why people have generators and inverters and things that you can kind of invest in the event that your power supply goes away. I know all the Class A people in that park were like, because they probably just pressed the generator button from inside their, bedroom or their dash area, and they stayed cool. Whereas the rest of us had to get in either our tow vehicle or the tow behind vehicle and drive to the closest small city that had air conditioning to fill of hot.
Yeah, it was hot. It was like mid-90s hot. It was steaming.
It was roasting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Carolyn. She liked the Washington trip as well. I think, yeah, Seattle was.
Yeah, that was a
That
bunch
was
of
a
fun.
really good one.
Yeah, we went to Olympia. We seen the state capitol, so that was fun. We didn't even, like we said, we didn't even get a chance to even like scratch the surface of what that area or what the state
Right.
was. So it was we was
What
only
their
there for a
mountain
week.
ranges and
Yeah.
all of that looks like. So
Yeah,
one day,
hiking would be so much fun there.
one day we will get back out there and show you guys some more about Washington. Okay, moving on. So, Aaron, you hinted that you are going to hold your New Year's resolutions and goals for the people until later, and later has come. So, please share with our family and friends what are your travel and blogging goals for the channel this year?
So for vlogging, I want to sit there and like obviously I want to sit there and make all our videos better, but I want to add more of a storyline feel. Like I want you to sit there and watch our videos and be like, hey, this is a great story. Like, yeah, we're watching them going to these different places, but I want y'all like to have a story and like making maybe it's a feel good story or just have a story in general, have a storyline for us to sit there and provide you guys and sit there and just have some fun and just have some more fun with the camera. Um, I know for me, like I need to talk more, and that's something I'm working on, which I feel like I've been doing. But my goal is to sit there and try to provide more of a storyline to it, not like necessarily like a storyline like a movie, but more of a storyline about us and what's going on and how we're getting to these places and something like that makes kind of slow it down a little bit to kind of have your emotions getting involved into it a little bit. So I'm sitting there learning more about storytelling and a film aspect, which I'm going to start trying to apply to our videos.
I like it. I think my big goal is to make sure that I am still bringing you guys the information about the places that we go. So I know for people that we've actually met out in the community or at RV meetups, they've said that they really appreciate it when we go to these cities commenting on, the history of the city and like the importance or the significance of the places that we're going to. I want to broaden it a little bit so that I can highlight things like, if you're coming with a family, these are some things that would be good for you or some things to check out. Or if you're traveling with someone who has a disability, if you're traveling as a couple, if this is like a date night trip or you're celebrating something, trying to bring some of those aspects in to let you know, like, yes, this is a good place for all sorts of occasions, or maybe this is something that we do with just like adults and not kids. So that's kind of my big goal, to make sure as we're telling that story that we're really highlighting information for you guys.
Yeah, like, and if you have any ideas, like, please, like, reach out to us, let us know. Like, we'll be happy to sit there and take a look and definitely try to add it into the videos because, like, we enjoy doing this. And this is something that we find fun and entertaining. So, like, please, like, if you have any ideas, let us know.
Yeah. Other channel goals. I mean, every content creator says the same thing. We want to grow the channel. We want to engage with our community, which is you guys, right? We wouldn't be here if you weren't watching. So
right.
We want to make sure that you feel valued and appreciated. So we're trying to figure out some fun things like maybe some giveaways in the future, shouting out people, interviewing people if we get out and meet somebody. So just things that can kind of help grow the channel and being a little more consistent.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard, but I think we're starting to get a little bit more mojo. Our kids are getting a little bit older. They're still not great, but they're definitely not babies now. So we can get a little more stuff done without having to kind of like hover over them all the time. So
definitely.
That's the goal. Any personal goals? I know you talked about storytelling and kind of improving videos. Anything else personally that you want to share with the people?
Only like, so I don't talk about myself at all, but like I'm on this journey of losing weight. So I just felt like I've been overweight for far too long. Like I left school and then I started the workforce and then the weight piled on and then I just been lazy and then I had spurts where I'll work out drop most of the weight, and then I'm like, cool. And I go back into it. Like, the normal stuff that everybody usually go through. So now I'm back on it again, but it's not like a New Year's resolution. This has been something that's been going on for like the last couple of months. So I have definitely lost some pounds. So it's keeping me motivated to keep going.
Right.
Haven't been good this week. I've just been lazy this week, but
it's okay.
Carson said he doesn't like my fat belly. He said that maybe a couple hours ago, and I was like, dang. He noticing too, so I was all right. Well, now I got to sit there and work out. So.
Oh man, it's your own children.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dre, I'm trying to get down. I'm trying to get back down to 230. That's when I was dunking.
I like it. So you guys got to comment down below. So we're doing this journey together for kind of a healthier lifestyle, right? If you guys have met our children, they wake up on 100. They're not bad kids. They're just energetic, lively, like happy, and they want to go, go, go. And we need to be able to keep up with them. So as you guys kind of see our videos throughout the year, if you see we're headed in the right direction, comment down below. Like, give us a good job. Hey guys, you look good. Think skinny thoughts. That's right. Tighten our belt.
Yep, definitely.
Eat some air. All the things.
Yeah, they wake up, kick the door, and talk about wakey, it's morning time.
Get up, the sun is shining.
So I was like, all right. So now you just get up as soon as you hear the door open. So
yeah. Let's see. Do I have a personal goal? I mean, running has always been this goal that in my mind just seems like something I want to be able to do. And I think it's because it's so accessible to everybody. And so like I see people running and I'm like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? So I've done it a little bit and then fell back and done it and fell back. But I think 2025 is the year that I will be able to do short distance, like, 3 to 5 miles is probably a good goal if I can run that consistently. So we'll see.
Yeah, like I don't know why I just can't stand running. Like I could run like playing basketball, playing sports and stuff like that, but just to run, I'm like, I feel like that's a punishment. And to me,
I know it is to you. I feel like insanity is a punishment.
Yeah, Dre, that's what I've been doing to sit there and drop this 20 pounds I did so far. So it's like I got to keep going. I've just been lazy this week. That's all. So I'm gonna get back on it. I'm gonna get back on it tomorrow morning. Okay. Actually.
Get on the horse. Okay, moving right along. Future travel plans. So I kind of hinted at this, I think, in the last live stream. So fast-paced walking. That's right. That's what I do. I run, but on the days I don't feel like running, I power walk. I get my, my mall walker arms.
Right.
And I just do that for a little bit. So absolutely. So I think our first trip is one that we did not tell you guys about, but we're actually going to tack it on to a trip that we have to make for Carson to go visit some doctors up in Ohio area. And that is to stay in another unique Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hype it up too much because if it's awful, then I'll feel bad for setting this expectation. But it's unique. So we're going to have that, and then we're going to go see the Lost Sea, which is like an underground lake.
Yeah.
So it's like a lake and a cave put together, and we get to explore it by boat.
Yep, and it's completely like in the dark, so you have to go with, the tour guide's gonna give you like a flashlight. Well, not us, but they'll have flashlights and stuff like that. So we'll try to get that for you. So that should be pretty fun. And I believe it's the largest one underground. I may be wrong, but I'm 99% sure. I think it's the largest underground lake in the country.
Oh, very nice. So pray for us. Carson's going to be with us, and I have a feeling that you guys will see on video us talking him off the ledge about this experience.
Yes.
So, but that's the first thing that we have on the books. And then in February, we have another unique stay. This one I can hype up because it's got websites and reviews and all the stuff. So we're going to Amicalola State Park, which for my Georgians on the map, it's maybe hour and a half or so north of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And we are actually staying in a glamping tent. So I was between a tent and like doing the dome, but we're bringing the whole family. So me, Aaron, both kids and both dogs. And I didn't want to have to pay anybody's extra cleaning fees for those beautiful glamping domes. So we will be in a tent that has a bed and bunk beds and like a living room area. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be in February.
Yep.
And let's see. We haven't quite figured out if we're doing anything special in March. Somebody turned 6. Oh my God. So we'll see how we're going to celebrate him. And then April is spring break. Woo! Yay, spring break. So we will be spring breaking in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area of Tennessee at a Jellystone campground. So it will be our first time at one of the Yogi Bear themed Jellystone campgrounds. So it should be amazing for the kids. I can't wait to film it and give you guys a review about it. And then, of course, the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area is beautiful, and they've got a ton of stuff to do. So we'll see just how much we can get into, but that's on the books. And then to round out the first like 2 quarters of the year is Jekyll Island, Georgia. So it is along the coastline of Georgia, farther down, kind of split between Savannah and Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. But it is supposed to be like very flat, bike friendly, small beachy community, very family oriented. By then it should be a little warmer, so we might be able to trickle out to like the beach or the pool. But there is a campground down there, so look for a tour and review of Jekyll Island, Georgia, along with that experience.
Also, Jazz, like, cool. Like, we're excited about Pigeon Forge too. So we're really excited. The only thing I'm nervous about Pigeon Forge is since she said Pigeon Forge, I looked it up, and then everything I see, at least on, on social media, more specifically Instagram, I just see bears randomly just walking around the city, like they're walking downtown.
That's what your timeline's messing.
Then a bear be in the alleyway as you just walk, and it'd be like in the little cut, and it's like you just walking through, and the bear just be looking at you. I don't know. See, when I get scared, I scream. I be like, "Oh!" like real loud. So
well, that's what you're supposed to say. Yeah, bear.
Yeah, but you don't scream. She freezes up. So like we'll be walking and she'll see and like, and then don't say nothing. And the next thing you know, the bear got me because she don't want to sit there and tap me and let me know.
Well, you better have your listening ears on.
That's messed up. That's
So look, she says 95%. But now that you'll see a bear. You know that you gotta be like, yeah, bear, you gotta have the whistle.
Oh, remember I told you the one we seen? The bear was walking through Walmart parking lot. I'm like, come on, man. Even Walmart parking lot. I was like, oh.
You just gotta be prepared.
All right, I'm walking around with some bear spray. They gonna be thinking I'm crazy. And look, I ain't
please don't spray us with the bear spray.
Well, if y'all stay behind me, y'all won't get sprayed.
Oh, bless us. Okay. Let's see. I kind of explained what we've got coming up. So new series. There we go. We'll tie it back to that comment before. So in the tent chat, that one, the like campfire chat that we did after the tent video, there was a viewer who commented that we should tackle travel stereotypes. And at the time, we weren't really sure how we would look into that, but I think we have a pretty good idea. So Aaron has done some research and has pulled together close to 50 different travel stereotypes that we plan on trying to tackle in some comedic videos, and then ideally give you some tips on how to overcome whatever that behavior is. So for a perfect example, in that tent trip, we were the overpackers.
Definitely.
Everybody knows an overpacker, that person who brings 2 large suitcases for your weekend getaway.
Yep.
The person whose checked baggage is always overweight. The person who, they just have too much stuff. And you're like, bud, what's going to happen when we go away? The overpacker. Yeah. So
we do that every time we go to her parents' house. Every time.
Yeah.
I don't know why we think we're going to be doing all these things when we get there. We overpack every time we go to her parents' house.
Yeah.
They're used to it now. They just see the stuff roll in and then they're like, all right.
We try to keep it confined and then we take it all back. But so like the overpacker, the person who can't make it anywhere on time, the person who has the plan, right? We know that person who you planned the group chat or the group trip that made it out of the chat, and there's that one person who shows up with the itinerary and you're like, oh no ma'am, no sir, we didn't sign up for that. So we'll touch on that.
Then you got the complete opposite.
Yes.
First, the free will person just does whatever they want.
Or they don't want to do anything.
Yep.
They're like, oh, I thought we paid money to sit by the pool for a week. And it's like, well, you can only sit by the pool so much. Like, what are we going to do for the rest of the time?
Right.
So those are just some like sneak examples of the things that we are going to try to tackle. If you guys have any other ones that maybe we don't touch on as we go throughout the year, please feel free to comment on those videos, because I think this one's going to be pretty fun to put together.
Yeah.
And so we are excited about that opportunity. And I think we want to kind of make almost like a game out of it. I've had these like big dreams of, getting you guys to follow along as we like release a few of them. And then when we do our live following, first quarter or whatever, having you guys either guess or answer some questions, and that kind of be some of our giveaway stuff, just to see who's been watching.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Anything else you want to add to that? Did I summarize it?
Yeah, you summarized it good. The only thing I was going to sit there and say, like Camille mentioned earlier, even if you don't see anything, you have something now, just sit there and shoot it to us, and then we can kind of mix it into what we're trying to do. So like that'll be fun. Like, well, this is all about engagement. So we want you to sit there and engage with us, speak with us, let us know your thoughts, let us know your questions, so we can sit there and answer them, anything you need to know. Or so if you want to see us make some type of content where it's related to family travel or travel in general, or even with the stereotypes, like we would really want to know.
Yeah. And for all of our fellow RVers out there, I'm putting it out there. This is the year that we commit to something.
So like I with the Wilsons asked the question yesterday.
Yeah.
And they said, have we decided on what RV yet? And, when is it which one are we thinking about choosing?
Do you want to tell the people what we're thinking about?
Yeah, so I know we've been hitting back and forth for the last few months about whether it's going to be a fifth wheel or a bus. So we decided we're going to get a bus. We kind of have an idea of what bus we want to get. So we're also trying to figure out the logistics for doing all those things.
That's right. We're in the research phase. We're getting our money together. I'm going to cry when we have to let go of it. But I think before the year is out, I don't want to put like a date on it and then it doesn't work. But I'm pretty sure before the year is out, we will have our own rig to camp in, because we've got some big dreams of places that we want to explore, and we've been saving like all these different road trips and weekend trips and things that we can just kind of get out to. And so we need something to get to it in, and that's kind of the big thing. So it boiled down to, we didn't want to have to buy another vehicle just yet, and our truck can only tow so much. And could we have made that work? Probably. Yeah. But we wanted to have something that would kind of grow with us, that we could hold on to for a little bit. And so that's really what boiled down to deciding on getting a bus.
Yeah. So. That's exciting, because so if you've seen the video when she learned how to drive the bus, that really just solidified it for her. Because that's the one thing is like, hey, we haven't driven a truck with a travel trailer, but we did drive a Class C.
No, but we have the chance to do that. Daddy will let me drive it.
Yeah, definitely. That's not the problem. But we driven a Class C before, and she did great with that one. So then when I knew she was going to go the bus, but she was nervous. I was like, you'll be fine. I've driven buses like that when I used to work for Aaron's. I used to drive Aaron's truck, so height-wise was essentially the same. But yeah, going through that process and camping for that weekend and the bus, and then just having a chance to get an idea of how it feels to be in there and feel like is it going to work for us, and then that kind of solidified everything. So the joy that you've seen us in that video, that was genuine joy of her driving the bus and conquering that. And
I did. I felt like a superhero. I did. I felt so powerful. And then our poor children, they asked us for at least 2 weeks after we turned it back in. They were like, "Where's the bus?" And I said, "Well, we didn't buy it. It was a rental."
Right.
And they were like, "But I want a bus. I want to go back in it." And I'm like, "Of course, you two need a job, but we'll see what we can do."
my head, I was like, you got bus money? Like, that's what I was thinking.
That's right. Let me see that piggy bank of yours.
Mm-hmm.
But even now, when we are on the highway and they see them driving past, or we specifically have to drive past like 2 RV lots anytime we leave the city, and they look out and they're always screaming, "Look, it's an RV! I want to go! So yeah.
Chris said walking is better, no injuries.
I know. Something. We got to do something. I really love to spin. I mean, you guys know this. I've commented on it a few times. I really like bike riding and spinning. It's just finding the time to do it. But yeah, like Peloton classes and NordicTrack and even just getting outside and riding. I mean, I could do that for years and years and years. But I'm going to conquer running, at least a little bit. Unnecessary running. I bet y'all did call it unnecessary.
Yeah, it was unnecessary running. Like, I feel like the only way I gotta train, I have to put like a scenario in my brain. So I have to be sitting there like, you know what? The Walking Dead is about to happen in 2 weeks. I need to sit there and be ready to run from these zombies. Like, that's otherwise I'm just not gonna be motivated to run.
No, I just put on a good audio book and go.
I can walk and listen to an audio book.
No, it's not the same. Heart rate don't get up.
But the audio book is jumping. You go, the heart rate gonna be up.
Yeah. All right. Anything that you guys wanted to chat about? I know we've been rambling for 45 minutes at this point. I know we had some comments about like in Washington. You guys gave us some fitness tips, so thank you. You guys really love us and want to see us successful. Of course, Calvin Shaw is really excited that we said we want to get a Class A. I'm sure he's lining up his stuff to sell now. No, I don't have no sister.
Oh, I have a question for y'all. So during our process of doing the Tim Campbell thing, like I had bought like these box of questions so we can sit there and like kind of like answer them for y'all. Just so y'all can besides that point, just so y'all can get a chance to know us a little bit better. And I was trying to decide like do we just have like a series of that, like where we incorporate them through the videos, like when we're winding down from a trip or like a part of the trip, and for example, we're in a hotel or something like that, and we do like 2 or 3 questions a piece. Would y'all want to do that? Because I mean, for one thing, it gives y'all a chance to know us more and know how we are as people and stuff like that. But it also, gives us a chance to sit there and show our personality a little bit and like just sit there and have some fun. Like they're going to be randomized. It's not like we know the questions. Like I promise, we're not going to sit there and look at them beforehand. It's just going to be straight off the first response. Like once it happens, it happens. So just want to know, like, what do y'all think about that? Because I wanted to sit there and like in each one of our videos, like just add a few in there, and maybe that could come be like a nice little segment for us, but also a nice little segment for y'all to get to know us a little better. So let me know what y'all think about that. Do y'all think it's a good idea, or do you like to scrap it, or should we just change that to like maybe like a video like how our 10 video was, where we just sit there and answer questions like for like 10, 15 minutes, something like that, and y'all get to know us that way. I do feel like it's important for y'all to sit there and get to know us a little bit better and know who we are as we're going through this journey.
It makes me think of that song. What is it? Mary Poppins? Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you.
Yeah, I didn't watch no Mary Poppins.
I didn't watch the movie. I just heard the song.
I didn't hear the song either.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's see if the people want to learn about us. Okay. I don't think we had anything. We didn't have any. I know before we had posted questions on like Facebook or Instagram for you guys to answer ahead of time. We didn't do that this time because we just wanted to, jump on and say Happy New Year, welcome to 2025, give you a sneak peek of everything that we have planned. So if you guys don't have anything else, you would know. Helen sees all of us in our glory on and off the camera. So we'll hopefully be able to translate some more of that into our videos, those of you who know us in real life. Okay, well, if we don't have anything else, if you guys don't.
One thing. You be all right. So some future videos of sneak peeks. So we got some videos of our trip of Chicago. So I'm working on that now. So I'm looking to have that out very soon. So watch that. We had a fun time in Chicago. Like we felt like the same way Seattle. We were there for too short of a time. Chicago was so much fun. We didn't get a chance to do all the things we wanted to there. Yeah. So we're gonna have to make a trip back at some point. But I'm working on that so y'all can get a chance to see how Chicago was, at least from our perspective. And
just a little star on that, Chicago in the summertime.
Yeah. Don't go in there this time.
Yeah. No. Chicago. This was Chicago in the summer.
Yep.
5 stars. Chicago in the winter, negative. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no parts. 0 stars. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jazz. Please like the live before you guys get out of here. We would really appreciate it. Otherwise, I think we can wrap it up. I know we told you guys for 50 minutes now. Yeah. And every time we get on here and I'm like, how are we going to talk for this long? So I thank you guys for listening to us for that long. And we are trying to make this a monthly thing. So we will catch you in February.
Yeah. And the reason why I did it on Friday this time, because I know how football is. I didn't want to miss no football games. I said, let's just do it on Friday. Definitely not going to do it on Sunday because my birds are playing. So not going to do that. Sorry, Jazz. Jazz and Packers fan. So I talk to me right now. I'm just joking. But yeah, aside from that, we'll try to keep this on like a Saturday night thing. If y'all want us to do this on a different day, please let us know. Like, we're open to all these different times. So if you have another time, we want to try to keep it between an hour or under an hour, but also around like 7, 8 o'clock. That way it's not interfering with people's sleep schedules or any other activities they're trying to do. So I feel like 7 o'clock is a good mix, but also like if you think you wanted us to do this on a different day, like just let us know and we'll try to make that happen.
Yeah. All
right.
I'm not going to say anything else because you keep interrupting me.
No, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing.
All right. You guys saw it. He locked it up and let me have it. Can I pet that dog? Oh, Adrian. All right. On that, we are going to end it. Happy Friday, guys.
There's a whole bear.